Hello, my name is 21 Average, and this is the Improvement Conversation. Today, I want to talk about the modern social hierarchies that we have. I'll talk about it in school, in workplaces, and what you can do to find a way at the top of these, and also to be aware of these and to leverage social hierarchies to benefit you and to benefit everyone. And so, in school, I've found that these days, and specifically I'm talking about high schools, we have groups. Each group has a place within the school hierarchy, but they don't really interact with each other. There's kind of just an unspoken status that some certain groups have. It could be, the football players or the band students, whatever it is in the different environment that you're in. And once you're in a group, you kind of find your group. Hopefully, that's the idea. And then you stick to your group, and then you're kind of stuck with them. And this is hard because high school is one of the times that we go through the most change in our life. And so it doesn't make sense to be stuck in a group. But also, it's hard because so many people rely on their friends, and they can be anybody and they can become anyone. So if you're relying on your friends and they go down a bad path, you're kind of stuck with them. There's going to be a lot of peer pressure on you, and it might have seemed like a perfectly fine group to get into. And so through no part of your own, you can get dragged down a bad path. And this might seem superficial to some people, and it might seem like that could not actually happen. That's just something that grown-ups talk about. But I've seen this happen to my own friends. Luckily, I have great friends, and even the people that I've known who have started hanging out with people who I don't think are good people, I've been able to navigate those situations very effectively. And so I want to help you gain the skill to navigate it too. And so the first thing that you can do is simply talk to people and just build up your social skills one step at a time. And maybe it feels like it's too late. And honestly, socializing is probably the hardest thing that anybody does in their lives. But if you can just learn to do it well, then this can basically boost every part of your life a ton. And so I recommend getting into more content around that. I can talk about it more if you guys want me to, but I even got into cold approach at one point, which is just talking to random people. And the idea is to build your social skills so much by talking to random people that when you talk to people within your circles, you're like the best there is. But that's probably the best way that I've found overall, because then you have outs, you can always have a backup friend if your friend goes sour or if your main friend group goes sour. And while this has worked effectively for me more recently, overall, I actually wasn't the most social person ever. And I think I definitely had vulnerable moments where if things went south with my friends, I wouldn't have been in the best situation ever. And I think I'm luckier than most people. I think most people really are tied to their friend groups much more than you would assume. And so if for any reason you find it hard to work on social skills or stuff like that, or if you want another way to be more socially free, I suggest reconnecting with old friends and just keeping those connections. People outside of your school or people who you maybe aren't as close to. Literally just send them a text, give them a call, have those connections open and ready. And this video does seem very defensive and like we're preparing for the worst, but I really do believe that this is necessary for every high schooler to do. And even in middle school, you can start preparing for this. And I also want to talk about work. And I think this is a really good thing to know about, whether you have a job now, whether you're thinking of getting one, or whether that's a long time away. Because what most middle schoolers and younger high schoolers don't realize is that they probably will and they probably should get a job before the end of high school. I got my first job in sophomore year, and honestly, actually, no. I got my first job summer of 8th grade. And honestly, I think that was one of the best choices I ever made. I learned about so much stuff, but one thing that I learned about is the workplace. And within a workplace, the hierarchy is very simple. It's you have a boss, you have people under you maybe. I never had people under me. I was the lowest. And your boss probably has a boss, and your boss's boss probably has a boss. And you usually only interact with people 1 to 2 levels higher than you, usually just one, and 1 level lower than you. And I mean, it seems petty to say this, but as much as you can, you want to suck up to your boss, because if you can have a good relationship with the people above you, not just for the obvious reasons of like promotion and stuff, but like they will favor you. That is a thing. Everybody does it, even subconsciously, but also consciously. Literally make friends with the people above you as much as possible. And honestly, if you really do want a promotion in a workplace, the best thing you can do is to try to be doing the job of the person above you. So if you're a lifeguard and you want to be promoted to manager, you should be not only lifeguarding, but you should be trying to help the managers and manage as many lifeguards, because then it's just an obvious pick for them when they promote you. And so that's what I have to say on workplaces. But in general, in every position in society, and in everywhere you look, there's hierarchies. And honestly, they're never going to go away, so we have to find the best ways to leverage them to get to the top of them. And I think, honestly, the one thing you can do, and if there's one takeaway from this video at all that you take away from this, it should be learn social skills really well. And I honestly don't mean watching YouTube videos about them, because I did that, and like, you can kind of overthink a lot. Honestly, it can make it worse. You should definitely be thinking about it. So, I mean, I think definitely getting into some YouTube videos can be helpful, but you should be like applying the stuff, and it's super hard. And honestly, you'll probably always feel like you're failing and like you're worse than you actually are. But just taking the smallest steps ever, like, and something that was easy for me was, since in the moment, a lot of times I like freeze up, I just would text people ahead of time. So like, I would text an old friend, do you want to hang out? And that's a social move. So you are flexing that social muscle, and it's setting you up to put yourself in a social interaction where you will build those skills. And that was just with an old friend, so someone I was comfortable with. That's totally fine. As the more time you spend talking to people, you can even try out techniques that you find on like YouTube, on your family. You know, nodding your head more can be a good thing. You can do that to teachers, and just being generally socially confident. And it just comes with practice. There's no secret sauce. Don't let anybody tell you that if you manage to clap 3 times and touch someone's wrist in a conversation, they'll fall in love with you. That's not ever going to be a thing because of how our brains work. But one takeaway: become more social. Just practice it. 1% every day. You'll get better, and that will lead you to the top of social hierarchies. Nothing else. You could just work on that, and you'll naturally find yourself rising up in school, at work, and in life, within friend groups too. So thanks for listening. This is the Improvement Conversation, and have a nice day, guys.